Hello and welcome to Focus on Liberia. Welcome and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Anthony here hosting. Of course, it is the hour of politics. We are here to talk politics, and I want to welcome you to this late evening edition of the hour of politics. In this edition of the hour of politics, I have two gentlemen. They each suppose somebody. I have with me Mr. Actor Doe, a veteran of intellectualism, comfortably seated here as he's here to make the case for President George Weah re-election. Mr. Doe, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you, Mr. C. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here tonight.
Also, another gentleman, Mr. Anthony Gaye, is here, and he's here to make the case for Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings, comes 2023. Mr. Gaye, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sierra, for having me, and good evening to you, my senior brother, Mr. Doe.
Good evening. Good evening.
All right,
Anthony.
that was Mr. Anthony Gaye. You saw him so comfortable, well seated, and prepared to make a case for Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings. Mr. Atodo is here to make the case for President Weah's re-election. Folks, this is not a debate, but this is an opportunity for the two gentlemen to make the case for their respective candidates, but at the same time finding the opportunity to look at what the other supporter will be saying about their candidate to see whether or not they are on point. That is the nature of this conversation, and I want to welcome you. Please hit that share button and let's get started. Now, I will put myself in the middle so that I can moderate things here as these two intellectual, gentlemen battle it. Mr. We are doing a little adjustment there so that you can get in the middle as we get this conversation started. Gentlemen, we're going to get to it right away. Let us start with your introduction here. And I will allow Mr. Doe to go first. Mr. Doe.
Thank you. Thank you
hold
so
on, Mr.
much.
Doe. Mr. Doe, hold on. Why are you supporting the re-election of President George Weah in 2023?
I am supporting Josh Weah bid for 2023 re-election because there is no alternative in Liberia. As far as we are concerned, the Liberian people are concerned. And George Weah, I know the history of the gentleman who has been in the slum for years. And I knew how he grew up and to ascend to the presidency. What George Weah is doing in the country now in my lifetime, I haven't seen any president within the first 3 years of his or her presidency that have done so much than George Weah. For this, I want for George Weah to keep on the positive trajectory, to making sure that he focus on the PAPD agenda, so that the Liberian people can re-elect him for the second term, and many others.
Thank you, Mr. Atodo, for your opening statement there. Let's come to Mr. Anthony Gaye. And Mr. Anthony Gaye, your opening question here is, why are you supporting Benedict, Alexander Benedict Cummings for the 2023 presidential election?
And thank you very much, Mr. Sierra, for moderating this conversation this evening. I want to say good evening to everyone in Facebook land, as you can say. Let me borrow your word, Mr. Sierra. All those on this blue app and all those watching here in the United States or North America, Canada, included and also around the globe and back home. I want to say good evening and whatever time it is to you. However, my name is Anthony Gaye. I'm a blogger. I'm a member of ANC. I'm also a chapter chairman of the ANC USA here in Delaware Valley, and also, a very, a young man who is progressively moved and ready for a different Liberia. I'm also an entrepreneur right now in Liberia. Creating job in Liberia for our young people or out there who do not have work. And why am I supporting Alexander Benedict Cummings? It's simple. Alexander Benedict Cummings is not seeking the presidency to enrich himself. He's not seeking the presidency to get name recognition. He's not seeking the presidency to get fame. All of those things he has had. He's seeking the presidency to lay the foundation of Liberia. For 173 years, you will hear some preacher will say Liberia is cursed. And the word curse, if you really want to put into a connotation or you want to put into reality, that means nothing should grow on the land of Liberia. But Liberia possesses up to 46% of the rainforest in West Africa. And Liberia is one of the countries in West Africa. Our forest can be compared to that of the Amazon in Brazil. Very condensed forest. If you have the opportunity to fly over Liberia, you'll see that Liberia have a very green forest that we can benefit out of greenhouse emission, CO2. However, the problem of Liberia today is not the country being cursed. We have a serious leadership issue in Liberia. Liberia have a fine constitution. Liberia have great laws on the book, but we don't have people who have the willpower to implement those laws. Take, for example, our code of conduct. We don't have people who are abiding for the code of conduct. So Alexander Benedict Cummings, an individual who have climbed the corporate ladder, reached the
Thank you, Mr. Gaye. Thank you. You can complete your thought there.
Good. That's what I wanted to do. Thank you. With 30 seconds. He has reached the corporate action, left his mark on a multi-billion-dollar company with no scandal. He is well prepared and ready on day one to take on the president.
Thank you.
Liberian strive.
Thank you. Thank you. And gentlemen, I'm sorry I did not say this earlier. If you are given the opportunity to speak within 2 minutes. And if you have been saying thank you, that means you have to come to a close so that we can make progress. Folks watching us here, focus on Liberia and in cyberspace. This is a conversation in which the two gentlemen are here to make the case for their respective candidates. Ato Weah is on my right and Mr. Anthony Gaye is on my left. Welcome to this discussion. And they are here to make the case for their respective candidates as we continue this conversation. Gentlemen, let's come to something else here. And this time I will allow Mr. Anthony Gaye to go first. Mr. Gaye, why should Liberians choose Cummings as their next president?
Mr. Cummings is a well-educated, well-accomplished, and very honest Liberian, a fine, astute servant of Liberia, somebody who is cool in Liberia and also abroad, who has a character, integrity, judgment to undertake the current economic challenges of Liberia. He's a financial guru. He has an MBA in finance. He has managed multi-billion-dollar corporation with no scandal. The current circumstance, the number one issue today in Liberia is the Liberian economy. If we can get the economy of Liberia under control, which the Weah government have been struggling with for 3 years, Samuel 12 have introduced the map-out exercise and the quote-unquote harmonization, and we saw the economy did not move any further. The inflation rate is high, and they're contemplating on printing another 48 billion of banknotes. All of those things will not help. Mr. Cummings understands that if we want to handle the issue of Liberia, first, reduce wasteful spending. Second, grow our domestic revenue. Third, invest into agriculture, and so on and so forth. So I want to start that for it.
Thank you so very much. And Mr. Atudo, let me come to you here. Mr. Doe, why should Liberians re-elect President Weah for a second term?
You see, I just continue to hear people talk about Cummings is a corporate guy. He's a guy who knows how to run business. He knows how to run the country. He knows the economy well. But let's look at the corporate records that we are talking about. Absolutely, Cummings is that guy. A corporation from top down. Cummings has not run. He has not run any a corporation horizontally. Horizontal, I mean, Cummings is a guy who stayed short time with the Coca-Cola company, and it is the Coca-Cola company that all of his supporters are relying on. That this guy has this corporate idea. Liberia is not a corporation. Liberia
Mr.
is a
Doe,
country.
did I hear you say short time? Did you mean to say
Yeah,
short time?
yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Short term. The
17.
man is 50. Man, the man was born 1956. The man was born 1956. All right. The man began, if I'm not mistaken, he started working with Coca-Cola around 2000, 2001.
No,
The way
1997.
he,
Hold on, Mr. Gates.
no, no, you're not, when
Don't
1997, he
don't
was not,
interrupt, Mr. Gates. So
right.
do you know that short time you're talking about? Say 2 year, 3 year, or you
Is
just don't
it,
know?
no, 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 I'm not talking about 2 years he stayed with
I just
Coca-Cola.
want to know. I'm just curious to know the definition of your short time, sir.
My short term is that Comey was enjoying Coca-Cola company.
Okay.
There is no reason why a man who was claiming the corporate ladder, he was not CEO of Coca-Cola. He was a man who was claiming that
But
ladder,
Mr. Doe,
getting
remember
rich.
your question
Just
is
for
why
him,
should Liberian re-elect President Weah for a second time? We will have time for you guys to do what we call crossfire here. So can you
okay,
tell us why Liberian should re-elect President George Manuel Weah?
because George Weah understands the people's problem. And
Mhm,
George Weah was once a guy who started from the bottom.
mhm,
He was the guy who lived in the slum. And
mhm.
many Liberians today see George Weah as the guy who they can look at, like Obama, and say, look, if George Weah can be this president, this person, I think I am able to be that. But for Cummings, I don't know a history in terms of being with the people. I just getting to know. I started getting to know Cummings in 2016 when Cummings spoke at our program. You see, so George Weah is entrenched and he has been doing very well for the people, and he has been moving around the country far yonder before Cummings came.
Thank you.
When Cummings was honored by Madam Johnson Sirleaf, I said, "Oh, great! We now
Mr.
have a
Mr.
corporate
Doe,
guy."
thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Your 2 minutes out. And Mr. Gale, you just listening to Mr. Atodo making the case why President Weah should be re-elected. Don't you think he's on point?
No, he's now important. Let me use 30 seconds of my 2 minutes and I'll use the other 1 minute, 30 seconds here.
Mhm,
Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings started with the Coca-Cola Company after he served as a vice president of the Pillsbury Company in the
mhm,
United States. He went to the Coca-Cola as a regional manager in 1997, and he rose from position to position until 2008. He was brought to the United States. But then Pepsi was giving Coca-Cola a hard time in this country. How do we know? Every fast food joint you go to in 2008, there's Pepsi machine everywhere. When Mr. Cummings took over in 2008 up to 2016, Coca-Cola went from making commercial on TV by actually taking the powder to the customer and the customer our water. Right now, you go to any Wawa, any fast food joint, you will see one Coca-Cola machine with over 32 flavors with different types. Coca-Cola don't run any commercial against Pepsi anymore because that product is doing so well. To be a corporate executive in this country for more than 5 years, that's a lot.
thank you.
CTO only lasts only 6 months to a year, and then they have to
Thank,
change if you're not doing well.
thank
So
you. Go ahead. On
Yeah.
your thought there, please.
So Mr. Cummings is well prepared. Now, people don't understand. Leadership is leadership. It doesn't matter where. Whether you work
Thank
in
you. Thank you,
and
Mr. Gay. Mr. Gay, thank you. Let's leave it right there. Mr. Doe, you're just listening to
It
Mr.
is,
Gay.
it is, it,
Do you think
it
he's
is,
on point or you think he's not on point?
it is not when leadership is not leadership. Leadership is not just leadership. The
Mhm,
leadership has different types of category. I work
mhm,
in the healthcare system
okay.
for over 23 years.
mhm.
And I been in the community for more than 23 years. I was 12 years old when I began these political things with my big brothers, the Moja and whatsoever. I begin to learn in the community. When I came to America, I began to work with a healthcare system. Okay, John Hopkins. I didn't sit there to say, "Oh yeah, I'm working with John Hopkins, so I can mingle myself with the people." I began to work in my community here in the DC. That's why George we are dead. George Weah is a guy who didn't look at his position that, oh yeah, I'm playing soccer, so I am not going back to say I'm going to serve my people. George Weah took the initiative, yeah, to become a peace ambassador that he chose to do.
Thank you, Mr.
Forgot
Doe.
about everything that he did. At that time, Cummings were making money, for making people belly big at that time. And to making
Thank
money,
you.
a lot of money coming to me. And then that he did a lot of investment. Corporate wise, the man is good. But the man is
Thank
not
you.
a
Thank you.
political leader to lead Liberia. He will sell Liberia in a second.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Doe. Folks, again, you are watching Focus on Liberia. This is our program, The Hour of Politics, with me, Anthony Sia, your host. In studio, I have Mr. Ato Wiado, making the case for President Weah re-election. And we have Mr. Anthony Gaye, a supporter, not supporter, actually a partisan of the Alternative National Congress, that is the ANC, making a case for his political leader, Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings. Gentlemen, let's continue with the discussion here as you made the case for your respective candidate. Let me come to you, Mr. Gaye. Um, Mr. Gaye, why will Mr. Cummings be a better president on transparency and accountability?
Mr. Cummings is very transparent and is a very, you know, practical person when it comes to accountability. His lifestyle shows it. His leadership at the global corporation shows it. Here's the thing: in the ANC during the campaign, in order to get a gasoline, you must fill out a voucher, and that voucher have to be approved before you can get a gasoline. No other political party is doing it. When you come to accountability, Mr. Cummings on day one said he would declare his asset and make it public. Look, everything about Mr. Cummings is out there. You know, I commended Mr. Doe when he stood against the referendum during the senatorial race. And I respected his view on that because the same President Weah he's praising today and one seeking for re-election was mortgaging our constitutional right, our citizen, our birthright citizenship. President Weah was mortgaging it that me, Anthony Gaye, should negotiate my birthright as a citizen of Liberia. But it behooved me to see Mr. Doe today now championing the same Mr. Weah who wanted to mortgage our birthright citizenship. So here's the thing. Mr. Cummings, his presence in Liberia intimidates many politicians because he's well-rounded, he's well-educated, and he's a great leader. And here's the thing people don't understand about leadership. If you never led a Lapa Bido before, you cannot manage McDonald's. You cannot manage any Mamusu restaurant. That's the simple thing. So when you can manage people, you can manage a government. And you can run any institution, whether private or public. The only thing that will change is policy. And is what policies are not the same from institution to institution. But leadership begins with you. And I don't see any leadership in President Weah in terms of taking ownership, in terms of representing our country, in terms of being the God, the father of the nation. For instance, 4
Thank
auditors
you.
got killed, and we didn't hear anything from our president. No statement whatsoever from him.
Thank you so very much. Let's come to you, Mr. Ato. We are done, and the question we are asking. Yes. Are you hearing me?
Mr. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm hearing you.
Okay, I'm asking the question,
Let's
how
get to
will
it, Mr.
Mr. Weah be a better president when it comes to transparency and accountability?
Weah has shown to the Liberian people and the world that he is transparent. I sometimes scratch my head when I hear people saying that Weah is not transparent, and claiming Cummings is. Yeah, is the fallacy. Yeah, it is the thing that is going on in Liberia that people don't know. You only know Cummings about Coca-Cola, but the history of Coca-Cola, it has something to do with discrimination. The history of Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, Cummings were in the position to sell his business. He was not managing people. It was not his job to manage people. It was his job to make sure that the company profit well. That was his job. The records are there. When the Coca-Cola company was in South Africa supporting the
Mr.
apartheid
Doe,
system.
hold on, Mr. Doe. Let me hold you there. Gentlemen, you will have the time for what we call crossfire and cross-examination. This is the time for you to make the case for your candidate. The question is, how will President Weah be a better president on transparency and accountability when
Weah
he's
is already a
reelected?
better president. It's not a Howard.
Then just make the case. Start going to Cummings.
The case I already told you and your listening audience that Weah is the best, and he will continue to be the best man for the fact that his records.
Mr. Doe just saying he's the best. We're talking about transparency. How will he run a government? What are the things he will do that will suggest and show that he's transparent? How will his government be accountable? There are some things he needs to do. What are those things?
The man is already doing the thing that he's supposed to do to make sure that his government is transparent.
For example,
he opened his financial book when there's 20 million and 60 million business came about. The man set up a committee. The opposition say, "Look, we not trust the committee set up." The man said, "Okay, we will invite the international community," and Crows came and investigated the man's books. Today we have the American company is supporting the Weah government. They have experts at the bank. They have experts at the finance ministry. All right. So the man has opened his book. So I don't see no reason why people will say, "Oh, the man is not transparent. The man is not transparent." Cummings, more things will be open. But you have to study the man. I respect the corporate man, but the corporate man is a guy who believes in profit. He is not the people's leader because he is not that guy you're talking about transparent. He is not. Under no condition he is. The Coca-Cola records are there. We will do the cross-examination so that we produce that.
Mr. Doe, thank you. And Mr. Gaye, I will give you the opportunity again. And gentlemen, I want you to pay attention to the question. We will have time for you to, cross-examine what your friend, is saying. The question is how will Mr. Cummings be a better president on transparency and accountability? Give me specifics.
Yeah, and the specificity as to how Mr. Cummings will be very transparent and accountable. Mr. Cummings said no one will be hired for opposition on the basis of, "Oh, I support Mr. Cummings. Oh, I'm a friend of Mr. Cummings. I campaign too much for Mr. Cummings." You will only be hired for a particular position based on merit. You must earn that position. If there are multiple people, you have to compete for the job. And whoever has the best, whoever aligns better with that job, you will take the job. And those things will be public. It will be public record. You will not have to look for the record. The information will be there because it's a public office. Second thing here, Mr. Cummings also said he will reward good behavior. If you do well within his government, he will reward you. He will also punish bad behavior. Whether you are a minister, whether you are a director of an agency, you will be punished if you fall short. That means if you are caught in the act of corruption, you will not be given any second term to say, oh, that party on the back. No, it's not going to happen. It is not
All right.
a government. It is the Liberian people government.
Thank you.
Those are things that will be done.
Thank you. Thank you. And gentlemen, let's continue. This time, I want you to keep making your case. We'll come to the point where you will be able to cross-examine each other and the candidates. So, Mr. Dole, let's come to you. Let's look at this question here. What record will President Weah be running on for his re-election? What are the things he has done for which he should be re-elected? I guess I'm asking.
His major project that he is undertaking now, the road construction. The many roads that he is constructing now. For instance, we're talking about the Rafi Highway. We're talking about connecting the eastern region. There are many things going on in the eastern region in terms of road construction, and I think is trying to connect the country. He can ride on that, he can run on that, he can depend on that to win election. Road connectivity is very important in the growth and development of the country. And for this reason, he told the Liberian people and the international community that indeed my utmost agenda is to connect Liberia. Once Liberia is connected, definitely all of those things are going to come. Secondly, George Weah is lifting up the poor people. There are a lot of homes that George Weah is constructing. I'm from the borough of Nuku Town. Most especially, I'm from Corner West. And Popo Beach is not far from, not far. We're just right in the same proximity. I must tell you that if you go to Popo Beach today, you'll see the kind of houses that George Weah built for the poor people. The only estate that used to be in Nuku Town was the one to the school area around the administrative building area. That was the only place. But if you go to Riverside, if you go on the highway, you will see a lot of construction lifting up the lives of the poor people through the building. In Grand Crew County, you go into Grand Jide as well. You know, within the shortest period of time, George Weah can run on to be the to win the second term of
Thank
Liberia.
you, Mr. Doe. Mr. Doe, thank you for answering that question. Let's come to you, Mr. Gaye. And again, I want to remind you, make the case for your candidate. And the question is, what has Cummings done to convince Liberians that he can handle the top job?
Cummings' leadership, Cummings' ability to come from a humble beginning and arouse. Look, if you work in corporate world like you are working in the corporate world like I am, and Mr. Doe is, it's not easy to even be a supervisor. Let's just put it as a spade. This man rose from regional manager to executive vice president for administration. That is huge. And here's the thing. The vice president of a corporation runs the company than the CEO. The CEO only takes credit. So what he's doing right now in Liberia is what the Liberian people want. What we call a retail politics. In small pockets, small groups, meeting the people where they are. Ordinary folks now get to ask Mr. Cummings the question. If you become president, what will you do? What will be your number one thing? Number one thing on Mr. Cummings' list, the economy of Liberia. The economy. Number two thing, national security. Those two things work hand in hand. Today, as we speak, the foreigner controls the economy of Liberia. Most of the vendors in Liberia, money does not go through the central bank. Absolutely not. That is dangerous for our nation. That is not a good thing for our nation. We want our central bank to control every businesses in Liberia. Meaning, your money from the central bank go into the commercial banks. Today, you as Mr. Doe, you cannot take 10,000 United States dollars and deposit it in your bank account in Liberia because the banking sector cannot be trusted under the Weah government. And that's the reason why, under Mr. Cummings' leadership, the bank will be trusted. Individual will open their account, they will have access to that money 24/7. If you put $10 there today, you won't get it back tomorrow. It's your own business, you'll be able to get $10 back.
All right, thank you.
Happening.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Again, this is the time. Now we will go into the what we call crossfire. So the next segment we are entering right now, anytime we'll ask you a question, your partner will be able to follow up to grade you whether you're on point, whether you're telling the truth, and will hold you accountable on whatever you say. Again, folks, in cyberspace, this is focused on Liberia. I'm Anthony C. moderating in this conversation, which is intended for the two individuals to make the case for their respective candidates. Mr. Actor Doe is the one making the case for the re-election of President George Weah, whereas Mr. Anthony Gaye is making a case for the election of Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings to become Liberia's president. Gentlemen, let's start here. And in this one, we are starting with you, Mr. Anthony Gaye. And this is the question. Will we see a better cabinet under President Cummings compared to President Weah?
The answer is absolutely yes. For instance, I will start with the Assistant Minister of Agriculture, Abin Weah. A very technical position is given to a gentleman who has yet to manage a Lapa Bido. Since that position was given to him, now one agricultural policy has been written. Of recent, President Weah had an agricultural county tour in Bon County, to be specific, and had an agricultural fair. And at that agricultural fair, what happened? He proposed a $16 million to be given to farmers. I have also called and also checked the Ministry of Agriculture website. There's nothing available for farmer subsidy. And if there was farmer subsidy, I was looking for the eligibility criteria or requirement as to how a farmer can be qualified. There's nothing. As you may know, I'm an investor in Liberia, especially in agriculture. So I was trying to seek other means to see how best we can also benefit through the process and create more jobs for our people. So you go around and make pronouncement, and there's nothing to show for it. There's one thing to say, we will give $16 million for agriculture. Another thing, the PAPD, the proper...
Mr. Gaye, you sure you're answering the question on, because we're talking about cabinet. So more like, give me a sense of how Mr. Cummings' cabinet will be. And gentlemen, you need to pay attention to the question.
His cabinet will not look like the cabinet that President Weah in the history of Liberia is the most incompetent cabinet that we have ever seen. And I gave a specific example to a gentleman called Abin Weah, who's the Assistant Minister of Agriculture. Yeah, here's the thing. It will be like America, wherein Joe Biden cabinet is by far the best compared to Donald Trump. Mr. Cummings' cabinet will be based on competence, not friendship, not partisanship, not party member, not a great article press thinker. So competence will be the goal. You must qualify for that position before the job can be given to you. Not friendship.
Thank you. Thank you. This time, Mr. Doe, you're just listening to Mr. Gaye making the case how, in his opinion, a possible President Cummings would have a better cabinet. Did he give you any meat or he just gave you crumbs? Talk to us.
He didn't give me anything. He just stayed promoting this corporate guy who entire life in the corporate society, he was working with different nationalities. It was not Liberians the people that he was working with, they were not all Liberians. He was working with Nigerians. He was working with people from different nationality. All right. So it is those people. If Cummings is depending on those people to become a mortgage Liberia, then I'm so sorry. When we're talking about leadership, even in the ANC, you can even produce that leadership for the ANC. You want to use the bottom top. I mean, ANC, the history of ANC, we know the history of ANC. We look at how people are elected into position. But if you cannot go through the democratic process that requires electing people for leadership in the ANC, and you would just be doing this, putting people, selecting them. I mean, it is quite different from the country, if different from politics. Coming is still seeing himself as that corporate guy. Today, if Gaye says that, he says anything against Coming would take he would not look at Gaye again. Tar is, for example, Tar one from Cummings being Peking. Tar, you would think that Tar would be holding Cummings back up to now, but once
All
you
right,
disagree with him, then of
Mr.
course a
Do.
different thing. But we are supporters. We are supporters. There was a revolution, and
Thank you,
those
Mr. Do.
revolution in a revolution, people have to benefit from the revolution. It is politics.
Thank you, Mr. Do.
All right.
Mr. Do, thank you. And now this is your question. And after you answer, then Mr. Gay will be able to come in to see whether or not you gave him anything worthy to listen to. And this is the question. How different will President Weah's cabinet be from President Cummings?
You see, we are using the leadership that he used during in soccer, and in soccer you have to look at the players, and those players, some of them can be on the bench, warming up the bench, and when the coach see fit that indeed you can do better, he put you on the pitch. Weah was once on the bench, and he rose from the bench and became the top guy. It is that leadership style that we are is using. There were supporters and still supporters who are supporting the government. I know people are mad that, we support the we are government, we are not in a position, but the fact of the matter here is the country must move forward. The proper agenda must move forward, and we are eye is on the proper agenda. That is
Mr. Do, are you
you're going to bring
giving me
prosperity to
a
the country.
unique sense of what President Weah cabinet will be better than
We
what
are
it is,
cabinet will
better than
be
what any other president would do?
we are cabinet is one of the strongest cabinet that he has. I respect the opinion of we are, whosoever he put in the cabinet, and he holding them responsible. I respect that. I am
All
not
right,
going to
thank you,
say
Mr. Do.
bad pig in the bag. I respect his
Mr. Do, thank
cabinet,
you.
and he has the chance to reshuffle. He will reshuffle if you are not doing well.
Thank you.
The
Thank you, Mr. Do.
Cummings can do the same thing if his cabinet not doing well, like he's doing
Mr. Do, thank
in
you.
the ANC.
Mr. Do, thank you so very much. And Mr. Anthony Gay, you just listening to Mr. Ato Do making a case as to what a better cabinet President Weah would give us should he be re-elected. Did he give us any meat or did he just give us crumbs? Talk to us.
Mr. Sia, it is unfortunate that the senior brother will come here and try to intellectualize the conversation. Here is the circumstances here. Even many people who were diehard supporter of President Weah today, they're not even supporting. They come up publicly. The list goes on. The Obe, the Vani Saki, the names goes on. I mean, prominent young men that were supporting President Weah. And here is the thing: this man lacks leadership. When he was in the Senate, we didn't see any leadership from the Senate. Now, it's so good to use analogies that sound good in the ear, but in practicality, they are not there. Okay, let's take, for example, your analogy you just used with the soccer thing. President Weah is the president of Liberia. Soccer is the one that put him up there. that gave me all the awards in the world. Where's the Liberian soccer team today? Down the drain. How bad a thing that put you up there now, it has no value now. Where's your leadership? You just use the soccer analogy. Where is the Liberian soccer team today? We better make it to the African Cup of Nations. We better make it to the World Cup. So there's your leadership right there for you. So here is the thing. The cabinet selection is the main thing. Look, what makes a president good or a leader good is the people that surround the leader. It's not the leader themselves. It's the individual that surround you. Mr. Sia, your program is doing well because you have people behind the scene that doing the graphic work, that doing the audio work, that doing the connectivity work, that doing so much thing. And then you appear, you have a producer. If those people don't do their part, your job will not be as smooth as it is. President, we have picked the wrong folks. Unfortunately, Minister Sametua is the wrong finance minister. Our inflation today, it was at 18%. Now it's at 45%. We cannot make it with the one currency now with our inflation rate. If you print for the $8 billion Liberian dollar, guess what we're going? We're going even higher. It's called hyperinflation in economics.
Thank you, Mr. Anthony Gaye. Now I have to jump in and follow up here with questions as well. And Mr. Gaye, earlier you made a case how a possible President Cummings will have a better cabinet compared to President Weah. My question is, who are the individuals that you see behind Mr. Cummings that suggests that he will produce a better cabinet?
Thank you very much. That's a brilliant question. Yeah, much I'm not going to name names tonight. I'll tell you, Mr. Cummings is a talent identifier. He understands how to, bring great talents around him. Great leader identify great talents. Because, Mr. C.A., you cannot be a successful leader in the corporate world if you yourself don't have. Mr. Cummings had to fire and hire people in his role to be successful. It didn't happen overnight. It was not his dad company or his family corporation. It was his ability to identify talent. If you're good, you're not great, you have to go. Some people are good at doing certain things, but they're not great to move the company. Let me use a basketball analogy. The coach can take a team to a playoff, but they can't pass the hump to win the championship. You need another coach to come in to take them over the hump. In the case of Golden State, we live in America. That's why I'm using that analogy. We saw that with Mark Jackson for 6 years. And then the brand
follow up to that, Mr. Gaye. Follow up to that. Do you have any idea? Saying you're not giving me names.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea of any list of individuals? If not a list, is Mr. Cummings aware of the caliber of individuals for specific roles in a possible Cummings government based on sectors and ministry?
Absolutely. From the moment the ANC was established, from the moment Mr. Cummings came into play, one of the first things Mr. Cummings did after we lost the election in 2017, what Mr. Cummings did during the election when everybody was congratulating him, and that's one of the reasons why I stuck with this party. The first thing manager said, we fell short. Why are you congratulating me? Oh, we did well. No, he said, no. This is not about did well. We fell short. And we need to recalibrate if that we fall short so we can we need to enlarge in our thing. We need to expand, bring in other people, things that we did not do well, so other people can help us do it well. That's what
Mr. Gaye, does the ANC have a shadow government in waiting?
I'm not going to give, into that.
That means you don't have it. Let's leave it there. Let me come to Mr. Doe. Mr. Doe, you gave an analogy. All right, conclude your thought there. Let me allow you conclude your thought there, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, so not because we didn't give you the name, so that means you can ask questions and I can answer in a way in which I feel, to answer those questions, Mr. Sia.
And I respect that. I thought you were here to give me meat, not know you're giving me crumbs. But let's come to Mr. Doe here. Mr. Doe.
Announce because we have to win the CPP nomination first and then win the presidency, then come that.
All right. Mr. Doe, let me come to you. You were drawing an analogy about President Weah, being a football icon who understands the game. having a substitute bench and having quality players on the bench. You didn't even describe the thing to me. I love the game. You must have a solid bench. And when those on the pitch are not giving you results, you bring them down and put the solid bench on the field. Somebody who will score a goal. The economy, I don't see goals being scored on the economy. It continues to dwindle. And yet, these guys that are in charge on the pitch playing, President Weah cannot even substitute them. They floated the idea of a reshuffle. It has not happened. So how can you tell me and lecture me that President Weah will have a better cabinet should he be reelected when this
The
one
man
is not
is
that good?
the man is goal directed. The man is goal directed. The man is goal focused. The man orientation and judgment is sharp. We are
Is
the
the team
history of
scoring goals, Mr. Go? Mr. Do?
yeah. You see, politics is so dynamic to the extent that people can just throw things out there, and we have this problem where most of the things that we say, some of us, we don't do research, and we don't even care to know uh, about how the workings of the government is. But we just throw it out there. We are talking about people talking about reshuffling. People say, or people are disenfranchised. Of course, people are going to be disenfranchised. But I must tell you that the president is focused, and the president will not entertain any distraction.
Mr.
And
Do, do
as
you
you can
believe
see,
President Weah has the best team on the pitch?
Mr. President, we has the best team on the pitch. He has the best
And
team
who
on the
all
pitch.
constitute that best team, Mr. Do?
Sam is one of the best guys. Tuer is one of the best guys. All of those who are playing currently, they are the best. They are the best. All
So
right.
your best is
But
giving us
if you
budget deficit. Hold on, Mr. Do. Your best is giving us budget deficit, and you call
but
that
if you
best.
what are you talking about budget deficit are just now just coming into being budget deficit for 12
That's why
years
you were
in the
elected
house
to change it, and you
economist.
haven't changed it.
But it will be changed. Give us a chance. You
Oh, it
cannot
will
be
be,
in the
right?
midst you cannot be in the midst of buying pig in the bag, buying pig in the bag that like my little son Mr. Gaye is saying, just selling the pig in the bag, selling and selling the Coca-Cola, the empty bottle, everything in the bag, telling people
All
that
right.
real people should buy it. No, President
All right.
Weah has a shopping budget deficit occurred many times in past government, including the recent past. That is nothing strange. This
All
is
right.
the third, almost going to the fourth year of President Weah's regime. You know how he is handling the process,
Mr. Do,
and
thank you. Let's leave it there. Mr.
Cummings
Do, thank
cannot
you.
do it.
Mhm.
Cummings cannot do it. He will not handle. He doesn't. The man is a corporate guy. He doesn't need like tension. You bring tension to the man, he will fire you. And I don't think, in fact, he will even go through the judicial process because that's why a man saying,
Thank you, Mr.
Cummings
Do.
find you
Mr. Do,
doing
thank you so very
evidence,
much.
he will fire you.
Thank you, Mr.
We
Do.
don't want that in Liberia. The corporate
Thank
man
you.
should stay.
Thank you, Mr. Do. Again, folks in cyberspace, you are watching Focus on Liberia. I'm also moderating in the discussion in which Mr. Anthony Gaye is making a case for Mr. Alexander Belen Cummings to be president of Liberia, whereas Mr. Atta Wiado is making the case for President George Manawia re-election. Gentlemen, let's come to some meat here. You guys been dancing around the issue. Let's come to something called economy, the engine of the country, the thing that the country
Danger.
relies on for its survivability as a nation. Let's talk about it. Mr. Doe, I will have you go first here on the economy. Is the economy better or worse under President Weah, according to your assessment, for which he should be re-elected? Talk to me.
Based on the current trend of the economy now, I would not say it is better. The economy is thriving, and President Weah is tackling
What word did he
all
just
angles.
use? Thriving?
The economy is thriving. Let me repeat. It is not better. The economy is not better. And if we are is getting all these distraction. People
Mr. Doe, please
selling a
define
candidate,
for
buying
me
pig in a
thriving.
bed.
When you say the economy is thriving, what's your explanation or definition of thriving? What does that mean?
I mean, most of the economic uh, uh, the things that supposed to bring everything together. When President Weah is stationary, President
For
Weah,
example,
the
give me an
opposition.
example.
Hold on a second, my brother. President Weah. There was an allegation about um 25 million, 16 billion got missing and this and that. President Weah say, look, here's the situation. I'm going to bring crew. We will make sure that transparency happens. Today, we are not talking about 25 million. You're still talking about $25 million, $16 billion. The same thing. All right. The guy is doing his possible best to make sure that the economy become the best. It is not that well. All right. It is not that healthy. When you
Is
have
it better
when you
than
have
what it
empty,
was during Honor Ellen, Mr. Doe?
oh, I would not say it is better. I would not say it is better. It is tough. It is tough. When we're doing Ellen time for 12
When
years,
you say
Ellen
tough,
is
what
not.
do you mean, Mr. Doe? I don't know the
I
definition
mean,
of tough.
in terms of how you're going to secure loans and with all of the noise that going on in the country, distracting
Mhm,
the president,
mhm.
distracting investors to come into the country. The man is holding on to the economy to make sure that investors come in the country. That is why he is doing. All right.
Did you say
Now
investors are
you
coming into
cannot
the country?
compare. Yeah, investors are coming, but
Okay.
the distractions are too many. But George Weah is just focused. He's just sharp and focused.
And
He's
where the
lifting
distractions
the
coming
hands of
from,
the
Mr.
people.
Doe?
It's coming from the empty premises that people are selling in the country, like the Cummings, selling coming in the bag, the corporate guy.
All right.
All
Thank you.
other opposition in the country who have stayed in power for almost 12 years, they have not done anything,
Thank you,
and
Mr. Doe.
they're distracting the president. So, but the
Thank you,
president is
Mr. Doe.
focused. What I like about the guy is focused, and he's not listening to anybody when it comes to the economy. He is encouraging investors to come. He
Mr. Doe,
making sure
thank
that
you.
he's putting those things together so that investors can come to the country, and they are slowly coming to the country. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Yeah. Mr. Anthony Gay,
Yeah,
how will Cummings better the economy than Ellen and Weah? We say Ellen because the Liberian people felt that Ellen was not doing well. So they elected President Weah. And such is the story of the economy today. So how will Mr. Cummings better the economy than these two presidents?
first of all, it is unfortunate again to the senior brother who claimed that President Weah have done more things in Liberia than any other president ever in the history of the Liberia. That was his opening statement. Remember? Now he found it so difficult to defend what he said from the beginning. He can't even tell us if the economy is better today than 3 years ago. I'll tell you flat out, it was better 3 years ago than today. My elder mom, who despised politics, you know what she told me a few days ago? I can't wait for somebody to replace President Weah. She always told me, stay away from them people think. I told you, don't talk about politics. Even when I call, we're having a family talk. When I bring in politics, she can shut me down. She just recently told me, I can't wait for this man to be replaced. My mom. You know what? You know what that means? The bread and butter issue of the Liberian people. There is a saying now, oh, Papa Naka, Mama Naka. It's not happening again in Liberia because back in the day, when your pa coming home, he come with a little plastic bag. When your mom coming home, he come with a little plastic. It's not happening.
Mr. Gay, can you tell me and my listeners how
I'm gonna
will
tell.
Mr.
I don't care,
Cummings better the economy? Can you
but
tell us?
it just went 2 minutes. But I was gonna go there. I was just laying my foundation.
And that's the
Mr.
question I wanted you to answer.
Mr. Cummings will better the economy by us one cutting wasteful spending. There are a lot of line item issues. You yourself went through the budget the other day, line by line, that are not necessary in the budget. Those things will be cut out and be redirected to meaningful projects. healthcare, education, agriculture, tourism. You heard him talk about that on Spoon Talk, right? Then the next thing we will have to do is to generate more revenue. One particular example, to get a passport right now in Liberia, you have to go to one spot only, the Foreign Affairs Ministry. In Montserrat, there are 17 districts. Now you can diversify that by having 17 processing areas. You will generate more money in the data, multiply that by 30 days and 12 months times 6 years. That's a lot of money. You don't have to come from Sando to come to Montreal to get a passport. You
Mr.
don't
Gaye.
have to be the 17 to come to Montreal
Mr. Gaye.
to foreign minister to get a passport. So
Mr. Gaye.
Yes.
Mr. Cummings is on record for saying he will work to grow the economy.
Yes.
The budget to 1 billion.
Yes.
But what we have not heard is specifics on steps.
Good.
Can you share with me and my listeners how will Mr. Cummings grow the budget up to 1 billion?
Simple. Number one, cut wasteful spending. Number two,
you just said that.
Yeah. Number two, generate more revenue. If you invest into agriculture over the period of time, you can generate more money. PAPD had 4 pillars. Out of the 4 pillars, agriculture is number 2 on the list. They are not investing in agriculture. If we invest in agriculture, if we grow more food, that an estimated $400 million is spent on rice import alone in Liberia.
Mr. Gaye, growing more food is vague. We know we have a budget. What is the percentage that Mr. Cummings will be spending on agriculture in order for us to grow more food? We have seen 16 million, 40 billion, and we don't see the food.
Yeah, right now, only $7 to $8 million going to agriculture investment. Anywhere from $30 to $50 million per year into agriculture investment. We will grow more food. That money we're giving foreigners to take out of our country will stay in our country, and then we'll go to other things. Mr. C, you cannot strive if you cannot feed yourself. The money that you're supposed to feed yourself, what you're giving it to foreigners.
So, Mr. Gaye, besides investing more money in agriculture, besides cutting wasteful spending, and I don't know what else you said, what are other ways Mr. Cummings is going to grow this budget?
Innovation. They are Liberian with talent. Nobody sponsoring them. They are Liberian with talent. Nobody sponsoring them.
What are the talents you're talking about, and how much money can these talents bring in?
Is to decentralize the government. Then you can create more revenue. I just told you, I can give you an example. Passport is only processed at one location in Liberia. Our police are not generating money. Police need to generate money because there are a lot of violators, but they're not paying anything. A lot of violators. Even if they pay, the money ends up in individual pockets.
Thank you.
You're not pocketing the revenue.
Thank you.
That have been generated today are ending up in individual pockets. If you put in the system in place. Another thing, capital flight. We will stop capital flight. You can't carry goods in Liberia, sell it, and all the US dollar run away. That's another way also of stopping and growing more revenue when you can stop capital flight or reduce capital flight. Let me say, not stop completely, but you can reduce it.
Thank you. Gentlemen, there's something that just flashed to my memory I think is key. We just listened to our former vice president, and he went on record by saying that one of the reasons he said they had squandered a lot of opportunities was they had a good number of ministers who came from the diaspora who were paying mortgages. And when it came to implementation, some of them were just doing PowerPoint presentation. And let me come to you again, Mr. Gaye. Mr. Cummings, it is evidence, and we all know that he has a bigger base in the US. We see the conferences and all that raising money. So chances are that should he become president, just as it happened in the case of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, a good number of his cabinet ministers will come from the diaspora. We did not be paying mortgages. Will opportunity not be squandered? We did not just be making PowerPoint presentation and end up like Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. You have 1 minute, sir.
Absolutely not. Look, Mr. Cummings is not coming to the leadership of Liberia seeking the presidency to do more of the same business as usual. Absolutely not. For me, I don't just support people. I do my background check before I support someone. And I can tell you for a fact, I won't come as a millennial to put my future on the line just to support a politician and tomorrow I start hiding my face. No. The only thing I have right now is my integrity, my character. And I can tell you for a fact, Mr. Cummings leadership will not be any like the more of the same. Look, we will put in system that will stop stealing. If you put in a system, the guy will not steal. For instance, if you have to pay for your passport, you pay using your mobile money or using your bank card. People will be able to open a bank account as well. Bank will create incentive. There will be fiscal policy and monetary policy. The finance ministry will put in fiscal policy. The central bank will put in monetary policy. Under this administration, we are not seeing it.
Thank you, Mr. Gaye. Mr. Gaye, Mr. Doe, let me come to you. The same applies somehow with the CDC. All right? A good number of your ministers. Hold on, Mr. Doe. Hold on, Mr. Doe. A good number of your ministers, many of whom I know, came from here. Some do have mortgages. Even if they don't, they have their family here. And there has been report of this capital flight. And you say you are pro-poor, but the pro-poor government is sending more money to rich country than America through its ministers paying mortgages. And when it comes to implementation, are you also doing PowerPoint presentation?
You see, before I can answer that question, I won't go to a Gaye comment that he made relevant to his mom. I have a lot of relatives in Liberia. What they tell me is we are seeing the difference in Weah. You hold the government. You don't bring any stranger here. That we should be our man. You don't bring any stranger here. Look, I must tell you, Chief, I am not going to go personal. I don't know as to whether people are paying mortgages through the government, who work with the government, they pay mortgages here. I'm not going to throw, I so respect myself. I cannot say anything that I have no proof of. I'm not going to do that. But what I'm saying here is people should now be selling pig in a bag. Cummings records are clear. The man is a corporate guy. I respect the guy. I interacted with the guy. The guy served in one of our conventions before. Gaye, do your part. Play your part. All right? Sell Cummings. But Cummings is not the best guy. In the first place, you're talking about a corporate versus a country. Cummings, I told you earlier, Cummings operates from top down. Cummings say anything in the ANC, it is final. It is final. For a country, you have to go through processes.
Is it not the case in the CDC, Mr. Doe?
Pardon me?
That whatever we are says is final. Is that not the case in the CDC?
It is not. It is not the case. It is not. It is not. It is not the case. It is not the case. The Liberian government that we are is the head now. The government is composed of 3 branches. We are is only the head of the executive branch.
No, we're talking about the political party now. We're talking about the political party
CDC,
now.
No, it is not the same. The structure of CDC remains the same. CDC has not been changed.
Mr. Doe, this is what I remember. Hold on, Mr. Doe. This is what I remember. On this fateful day, we saw the Facebook post, and it said breaking news is coming. President Weah in no time was on the campuses of the University of Liberia. A pronouncement was made, shockingly, to even some of the people in his administration, before they could even figure out how to fund it, free education. So how are you telling me that this guy does not make decision on his own and that he does consultation before making decision?
My man, the free education business you talked about is something. It's not just. It didn't just pop up. It was negotiation that went on with the stakeholders before the pronouncement is made. That's exactly what happened. We are just he doesn't just get it. The guy is a soft-spoken, very sharp and focused guy. He doesn't engage in the politics, the nuances of all of the things that we are doing with politics here. All right? Before the man does something, he investigates. Unlike this guy who was selling in the bag. This guy has the leadership of ANC has shown almost how many times that he have gone through metamorphosis or he have metamorphosized almost 3 times. All right?
Thank you.
Through the same the man who want to be president of Liberia, the ANC.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
How
you.
can you
Again,
how can you sell such a man, the corporate guy? The man
thank
is
you, Mr.
good.
Do.
The man is good in the corporate area, but he is not a politician. It's just sad. It is so
Mr.
sad, you know.
Mr. Do
Yes, sir.
was President
Yes, sir.
Weah good in the soccer arena?
Oh, of course, man. I mean, the
So,
history.
and now you are saying he's good in the political arena, but you are saying Cummings is good in the corporate arena, but he will not be good in the governmental arena. How
Absolutely,
come?
because Cummings have not served in government before. We are
The
have served
president
in
we are
government.
served in
We are
government
was a
before
senator.
serving in government.
Pardon me?
The president we are served in government before
Of
serving
course,
in
yeah,
government.
he was a senator. Okay, he was a senator. He was not a boisterous guy who said, "Oh, I want to be president at all costs." He grew. He rose to the top to become president. He was a
And
senator.
how did he
He
do
worked
when he
just like
was
that.
senator, Mr. Do? Did he do well?
Of course, he did well. He did
How
extremely
well?
well.
Did he pass a bill?
Extremely well. What?
Did he pass a bill?
No.
Did he pass a bill?
Yeah.
He supported a bill.
Oh,
He
okay.
supported legislations.
Okay.
He
Thank
supported
you.
legislations.
Thank you,
He
Mr.
was
Do.
concentrating on Maserado County, and he
Thank you, Mr.
delivered
Do.
for the citizens of Maserado County. That's what he
Thank you,
did.
Mr. Do. Mr. Do, thank you. Again, folks, in cyberspace, this is Focus on Liberia. Anthony C. hosting, moderating this conversation between these two outstanding intellectuals. Mr. Arthur Wiado making the case for George Manawia re-election, whereas Mr. Anthony Gaye is making the case that not only will Cummings win the CPP primary, but he will go up to win in the general and become president for Mama Liberia. If you are just joining us, we want to say welcome to the discussion as these guys are making the case for their respective candidates. Gentlemen, let's come to this segment here. And this segment is major criticisms of the candidates. Now, I will provide two criticisms, major one for each of the candidates, and then each of you will bring one up, and then we will go at it. So this is the first one. Many look at Cummings as new to Liberian politics, weak, and that he struggles with having a firm position on issues. Again, this is a criticism that we hear in the public. It is not me criticizing Mr. Cummings. This is what we hear in the open space. So, Mr. Gaye, looking at this particular criticism, don't you think it's fair?
No, it is not, and here's why. You know, Mr. CA, I will say this to you.
Mhm.
There are style in leadership. There are differences in leadership and in personality. Some people are introvert. They say little and do much and very firm. Some people are out there, extrovert, and they speak their mind, they show boastfulness and all that. But showing power or portraying to be too strong is not leadership. Leadership is judgment, decision making, and being firm with your decision. Having ethical principles and morally upright as a leader set you apart. Those characteristics is what Mr. Cummings possesses. He is very firm and is morally upright. So now
he does not struggle to make any decision as a leader.
No.
So why talking so long to make decision on the war crime court? The war crime court thing has been around. He jumped into the presidential race in 2017. 4 years later, he's telling us he's for it. And you think he doesn't struggle?
He has said people involved. People involved on situation, on circumstances, on events. That is not struggle. The word struggle is completely different, but involvement is different. You may have a position on a certain, like Mr. Doe. Mr. Doe is supporting Mr. Weah tonight and defending all of what he's doing in Liberia. But he was against the referendum. He spoke about it publicly. He wrote, I follow a writing on Facebook. He can attest to that. He called
in here also to do so.
Yeah. He also went and now he's supporting the one that DeLong proposed, right? So yeah, it's the involvement. Now, Mr. Cummings never said that he was for he was against the war crime code. What he said was there are three approaches to this. Okay? And mostly it's what the Liberian people want.
All right.
When you are a politician, you don't take position right away. You study the issue. You study the issue and study the issue until the moment is right, and you have all of the information. Then you make a final decision. So that's
Thank you.
That's the involvement.
Thank you. And Mr. Doe, I want to bring you in also on this criticism on Mr. Cummings. You know, many look at him as new to Liberian politics. He's weak and that he struggled and he's not firm, you know, when it comes to decision making. Do you hold this to be true?
The man is strong in decision making when it comes to the corporate world. He is strong in decision making. But to make a political decision, he baffles a lot. Because why? He is not a politician. He is not a politician. He has not worked with the people for so long. So he doesn't know the people's issue. Gaye may mention about the various things that Cummings will be doing, including agriculture. How will you drive a truck that can't even move from one end to another? You say you invest billions of dollars in agriculture. You will not need roads first. Is that what Josh Weah is tackling? Is that what he's to continue to talk about? You cannot take your food to the marketplaces without good roads. So investing in agriculture, you have to have roads. Is what Josh Weah is doing. Fast forward. When Cummings is making judgment, he used the corporate tactics to make his judgment. He make his decision on that. The ANC today, if you compare the structure of the ANC and the structure of the CDC, you will notice that the structure of the ANC has gone on a different thing. Because why? Cummings believe in hand picking. That's his job.
You just pointed out.
He is the only guy.
Mr. Doe, may I interject?
Yes,
you just pointed out that Mr. Cummings is not a politician. Is President Weah a politician?
Yes, he is a politician.
Why you think he's a politician?
Because he played in the Senate before. He was once a senator. And in the Senate, social politics go on in the Senate. And George Weah was that.
Cummings has been running for president since 2017. And you think that does not qualify him as a politician? He's a head of a political party. He is the political leader of a political. Don't you think that constitutes him to be a politician?
No, he's not a politician because all of the decisions he has made so far is corporate.
All right,
those are the things I believe that he does. He's not a politician.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gaye. Let me bring Mr. Gaye in.
And it's happening. He will not entertain any conversation.
Thank you.
He operates the.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Doe. Let me bring Mr. Gaye in. Mr. Gaye.
Yeah.
What do you have to say? You think Mr. Doe is on point with his expose just now?
No, that's a very poor analysis. Listen, the process by which you elect people is political. And if that person subject themselves to that political process, they become a politician. That's a simple definition. That's politics 101 for free. Google will get you that. Now, there are other people who make politics as their profession, who study political science, who become lobbyists, who becomes, political scientists, and the list go on. All right. But once you subject yourself to the political process and you are scrutinized under the political process, you are a politician. Though people use the phrase, I am not a politician, because traditionally that was not a field of profession. That's true. Like Raphael Merda, the pastor from Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
His whole life, he preaches this gospel. But he now is a politician. He can claim that I am not a politician because that's not what he's known for. But he's now into the political setting. So saying we are a politician over Cummings is just ludicrous.
Because he made political decision,
Mr. Gaye, are you a politician?
He been senator before.
Mr. Gaye, are you a politician?
Political junkie, remember? I use that phrase all the time.
Okay, Mr. Doe, are you a politician?
Yes, I am.
Why made you a politician? You are, in your definition, you said president. We are served as senator. Now he's president, so he is a politician. You have not served in any of the capacities. Cummings has not served in those capacities, and it's on those bases you say Cummings is not a politician. So how come you are?
CA.
Yes.
My bigger brother, who is a reverend now today, Solomon Young, he was a member of Moja. I was 12 years old. He used to carry me into Moja meeting. And from there, I began to love politics. I was member of the Liberian People's Party. I didn't say that I was actively involved.
But Cummings is actively involved in ANC.
Oh man, the man are corporate. The man are corporate man. You don't do that. You don't support the man.
But you yourself, you are an employee of some place, right? And because you are involved with Moja and other political parties, you are saying you are a politician.
I told you that despite the fact that I work in the hospital, I didn't turn my back to my community. I serve my community.
All right.
Community on different levels, on different political levels.
Mr. Doe, let's come to a major criticism here of President Weah.
Not doing that before.
Let's come to a major criticism here. Mr. Doe, hold on. Let's come to a major criticism here on President Weah. Many look at Weah as being a figurehead, being controlled by McGill, Weah, and others, and that his inability to reshuffle significantly is a sign that he is not in control. Don't you see that as a valid criticism of President Weah, Mr. Doe?
I mean, how people do play so petty like that? Why would people would say McGay and Weah controlling Weah? Weah been deciding for himself, been making decisions on his own for since man. People shouldn't be petty like that and say McGay and Weah and Weah is controlling Weah. Nobody controlling Weah. Nobody is controlling him. Those guys.
Let Weah reshuffle the government, then we'll know that he's in charge.
They are the opposition to tell that they didn't want to tell Weah to shuffle his government. Weah will shuffle his government at an appointed time if he wants to. Nobody should tell the president, say, you reshuffle your government, this and that happening. The country is moving pretty well so far. All right, the country is moving pretty well. Where we are.
Mr. Doe, are you sure President Weah is in charge? You think he's in charge?
He is more than in charge. He is more than in charge.
How you know that?
Because the country is doing well. Because the country is doing well. Publicly, the man has said, you know very well that many people are on the bench. He said that clearly to his cabinet ministers.
And why has he not put those people on the bench, on the field to play?
Because he feel with him said that these people who are on now, they are doing extremely well. There is no need for you, when somebody is doing well, for you to go in there and begin to reshuffle people. You're not going dancing to the songs of the opposition. People who selling people in the bag, man. You can do that.
Thank you. Mr. Gaye, let's come to you. And Mr. Doe, adjust yourself in the middle so that we can see your head. Maybe your man Joshua is watching.
You can see my beard now, right?
Yeah. Maybe your man Joshua is watching so he can see that Mr. Doe is making a case for me. You see, I'm in the middle. My man Dennis Jai is watching. He said my Peking is doing what he's supposed to do. So, Mr. Gaye, the criticism on President Weah, that he just a figurehead, McGill and Weah running the show, and he's just dead. And he's not in charge, so he's not even making decisions. Is that a valid criticism of President Weah?
Absolutely. Look, let me take it another step further, right? You have the father of the nation, being a president, like the father of the nation. That's why they call you the commander-in-chief, right? The man who controls the military, the armed forces of Liberia. 4 professionals got killed mysteriously. We didn't see our president giving any press statement or even appearing before the reporter taking questions and even speak about that publicly. Nowhere. People are disappearing and the president is muted. I mean, key members of your cabinet. Okay, let me take another step further. A regional police director in my own county, Grand Juliet, was murdered in cold blood. We did not hear this president. In Maryland County, adjacent to his county, a police depot got burned to the ground. We did not hear our president. In Grand Juliet County of recent, angry protesters also set ablaze the police station there. We did not hear our president. Where is the president? What are his functions? When are you going to speak to the nation? He will not wait for the nation of address to go speak. And from there, we don't see him again. You saw how the president was very apprehensive when he came from the United Nations, when he spoke of the War Crime Court, and the journalists even commended him and said, Mr. President, you made the case of the War Crime Court at the United Nations. So what's the next step going forward with the War Crime Court? The first thing that he was very apprehensive. I ain't say I want War Crime Court. I just say I want War Crime Court. Well, the gentleman commended you and said you made the case for the Liberian people at the United Nations. That was a compliment. So going forward, what is your position? President Weah got very apprehensive and said, I ain't say I want War Crime Court. Now yeah, the Liberian people say I want War Crime Court. He lacks basic leadership. So that's why his fear is to come before the camera.
Thank you.
His worst nightmare is to be before the camera taking tough questions from reporters.
Thank you. Mr. Doe, you want to say something?
He didn't get
you see, what I want to say here is that sometimes, people just talk because they feel like talking. For the fact that there are some things in the country we wanted for Weah to respond to immediately when these things happen. We even found when the 4 guys died, within less time, we wanted for the president to come out to speak. Well, it doesn't mean that the president did not speak, when those things happen. This president did
Mr. Doe,
speak.
you are sounding like that is a valid criticism that when the
president-
nation is in despair, let me lay my thoughts here. It seems to be you sounding that, yeah, that is a valid criticism of the president. When the nation is down, when the people are looking for the leader to come and console them, the leader disappears. Is that a valid criticism?
Look, information getting to the president does make a comment. He does that.
Are you saying that in the case of the auditors, when he was in the church, hold on, Mr. Doe, are you saying that in the case of the auditors, he went in the church and started saying, well, maybe boyfriend and girlfriend has something to do? Is that the kind of address you're talking about, Mr. Doe?
I mean, I'm not talking about that kind of address. Probably you want for the president to step to the podium and say, "Oh, my fellow Liberians, A, B, and B and C, we are this and that."
Why will we adore one? Why will we adore one?
I will want for my president to step up to the podium and address the nation in such a situation, most especially when such a thing happens.
So what did you say when he did not do that, Mr. Doe?
Pardon me?
What did you say when he failed to address the nation at that critical juncture?
It was he did not he did sympathize with the situation. He did sympathize with the situation, but
in
the
a
fact
low
that
key
he
way,
didn't
right? In a low key way.
What?
In a low key way, right?
I can't describe it as low key. I would not say it is low key, but he did address the situation.
All right, thank you, Mr.
That is why investigation went on about the situation. We are saddened about the situation. We are saddened about the situation, but nobody should capitalize on that and try to shift blame on the president by not mounting the podium to say A, B, and C.
Thank you. Thank you. I think that was a major uh, point in our country's history. Four auditors dying in
I
eight
agree.
days. And,
Yes, I
and that
agree.
was significant for the president to say, look, something is not looking right here, and he should have addressed the
I
country.
agree. I
And
agree
the
100%.
president did not seize on that opportunity. Mr. Gaye, let me come to you. What major criticism do you have for one, your own candidate that you are supporting, and two, that you have for President Weah?
Well, I think my criticism that I once had for Mr. Cummings was he's not getting in the trenches to reach the people. Since 2017, he listened. He's getting in the trenches now. He's doing this retail politics from neighborhood to neighborhood, from town to town, from village to village. Ordinary folks are asking Mr. Cummings questions and he's answering. He's also having talk show interviews. He's not shying away from the media. Mr. Cummings is a better politician today than 2017.
And what criticism do you have for President Weah?
Oh my goodness, the list goes on. President Weah gets apprehensive very quick, and so are most of his lieutenants. Ask them questions, they get angry. Your job is a public function, so you are subject to public scrutiny, and the public will want to hear from you. President Weah have yet to have a press conference for at least 1 hour, take questions from reporters. It has never happened in the past 3 years. That is my frustration. We need to hear from the president. Why is he running away from his own people? If he is a people lover, why is he running away from the media?
All right,
President
thank you.
needs to take ownership. He always should blame to Madam Sali or the opposition. He never
Thank you.
takes responsibility.
Thank you. Mr. Doe, let me come to you. What major criticism do you have for your candidate for 2023, President Weah, and what criticism do you have for Mr. Alexander Bernard Cummings?
Oh, I just make it crystal clear. I just make it clear that when certain thing as such as the devil of the auditor who work with your government, the president should have stepped up to the podium in 24 hours and make a statement towards that and tell the Liberian people that indeed the justice system is going to deal with that. Just to make that comment. And if he didn't do that, then of course it is something that he needs to do in the future. And another criticism I will have for my president, Joshua, is with the referendum that talk about the dual citizenship issue, the Proposition 1 issue. All of the things that were in the proposition in the referendum, other propositions, I did support them, but I was against Proposition 1 for the fact that it was not in the best interest of us in the diaspora, and I thought
Are
it
you
was
talking about the restrictions?
yeah, all of the
And you
restrictions that
think
were in
President
there.
Weah were trying to deny you the opportunity for you to run for
I would
president
not
too,
say he
right?
was denying, he was misled. He was just misled. And I was the first person, in fact, on VOA made a comment that President Weah should veto that, and once you talking about a proposition, you have almost a year to talk about that. We shouldn't use the CRLC, the Constitution Review Commission, counted tour to mean that the executive branch has promoted the referendum.
Now that comes to your
Immediately after
criticism
that,
for Cummings.
pardon me,
Your criticism for Cummings, sir.
Comey had a lot of criticism. Comey is a corporate guy. Comey, people are selling Comey in a bag. He's a corporate guy. He's not a leader. The man has changed the ANC leadership over 5 times now. And if that is the case of he's just looking anything that Comey does in the ANC is depends on his upbringing corporately. So the gay man that is over there now.
Mr. Doe, maybe the corporate guy, we should try him so that Abura can
You
make
cannot
profit.
try. You cannot make any. You cannot buy a pig in a bear. He has not done enough. You are not doing enough. You are not
But you
working with the
continue to
Liberian
say he's a
people.
corporate guy. Corporate company always making profit. Maybe Liberia needs to make profit to develop Liberia. Don't
You
you think
cannot make
so?
profit out of politics, bro. You can't be a part of. You will just say the country that all coming. We are were playing soccer. When were playing soccer, when he
Mhm.
score a goal and his team wins, that's how he gets his profit. But when Cummings going to
Maybe
when the
when you
Coca
are
Cola,
playing football, everybody needed to celebrate him. Now he's president. He want all of us to celebrate him. Don't you think
the
so?
people are still celebrating him. The people are still celebrating
See?
him. The
There you
only thing
go.
that we need to do, the only thing that we need to do now is to add the 15 county on the already 14
All right.
counties to
All right.
win 2023, and we are
Mr. Do, thank you.
going to win 2023 election.
Mr. Do, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Folks in cyberspace, I hope you are enjoying the conversation. Gentlemen, at this time, I will read a few comments from our audience to see if there are questions. Of course, there will be comments. And then I will give you the opportunity to respond to those comments or questions. And then after that, we will get your closing statement because time is fast spent. There's a lot of comments, about 134. I can't get to them all. I will do my best to read just few. Let's hear from Waiton Ketter. Rebecca, it is not the case, my dear brother president. We are rule. That's just not what I'm talking. These are comments, people arguing among themselves. Yeah, this is the challenge now to look for comments that will be relevant. Or Propo King, the ANC is not educating the public well. Everyone running with this so-called corporate war. That person is laying down a criticism that the ANC folks, all they're just saying is corporate man, corporate man. They're not educating the Liberian people on what Cummings is doing or what he's up to. Let's hear from Joanna Johnson Winker. And we have footballer who had no administrative, no managerial skills and experience. So what is your point, Mr. Though? Somebody is asking a question. Let's hear from this person, Prop Working. I read something from him. Yeah, from this person. So, Mr. Actor Biado, when has the president done that? We are all on social media and see all these things. You people that are supporting President Weah are not treating him right. That person is disagreeing with Mr. Actor Biado. Let's hear from the same person. I want to read something from somebody different. Let's hear from J. Blay. Cummings has no tangible that we can point to. So, Mr. Gaye, mark that down. Liberian people love that word, tangible. They love tangible. They want to see tangible. They hear from this person. We can hear, this thing is saying this person is bad. Marian Dia or Gia. Sorry, I'm butchering your name here. We can hear you all. No need to scream. We only want our country to be developed by whoever asks to lead us. A person is saying. The person said we shouldn't be screaming. Let's hear from Amon's Songa. Liberia's problem can be summed up in one word: economy. If the economy is vibrant and working for everyone, people will have food to eat. Government raises revenue to fund education, sanitation, healthcare, roads, and other forms of infrastructure. I think having a corporate mindset with no tolerance for corruption, along with keen interest on deliverables, would make a difference in our country. Solid comment from this person. We thank you for doing that. Let's hear from Fatimanta Famula, Propo King. The well-informed should be on multiple platforms educating people. That is key. I like that point. And that is what I'm here. I'm not the most informed, but I mean, I'm just anxious. I'm just anxious for a better Liberia, and that is what I'm here. So I like that. The most informed should come here, and that is why I focus on Liberia, always trying to get these most informed people. Let's hear from Sam Wallow. He is an ardent follower here, focused on Liberia. Cummings refused to take a position on the War and Economic Crime Code at every opportunity presented to him since 2017 until this week. Sam Wallow right there making that point. Let's hear from Letty Brooks Robert. It's sad to say such thing when your president comes from a soccer field. All right. Let's hear from Edwin and Clark, a so-called educated man making such an elementary analysis. Huh? Is he going after Mr. Wiado or what?
No,
I don't really know.
I need a me coming to.
Why you think it can, why you think it can be you? Why you think it can be you?
That's cool.
No, no. Yeah, the person made a statement again.
All right. Yeah, from Mohammed Donzo. Where is too focused. Killing of auditors, broad day looting, librarian resources. What world this Mr. Doe lives in? If we are and his gain are focused on doing well, why the laws their stronghold must be rather in the senatorial election that person writes. Let's see here. Oh, I saw something here from Franco Cisse. Wow, sedition are shameless. Does this Buffon know the meaning of thriving? That was when Mr. Doe said the economy is thriving, and I'm pointing out to I'm trying to chorus that saying, did you use the word thriving? I know the meaning of that word. That word means everything good, but that's it. Let's hear from Amara V. Soiree. This discussion has no food. We does not even have Division C quality players. Somebody is using the football language that President Weah does not even have Division C players on the field. And that person is making that point right there. After we are done, my man, you're laughing. Maybe when we look at the proposition you were talking about, the team is not even up to Division C. That's why they put all our restriction there so that you will not run for anything in Liberia. Well, gentlemen, like time is fast spent here. Those are just a few comments, and we want to say a very big thank you to those following us here and contributing.
Yeah.
Of course, 134 comments we can't read all. Mr. Doe, what do you make of the comments? I saw that you were laughing.
It is so good that we are having these discussions. They are very germane for the politics of our country. That means that every one of us will have a take, into the discussion. We want to contribute, and we are contributing. We're trying to get the best of Liberia. So for those criticisms, these are all criticisms that we should take to heart and work on. But I want to say something about the War Crime Court. Liberia does not need a War Crime Court in Liberia.
Mr. Doe, keep that for your closing. Just respond to the callers' comment, please.
So I'm enjoying the callers' comment, but the other caller that talked about an educated man, Liberia is a place of free speech, and the world that we're living in, anybody can say anything they want to, but they should be responsible for their action. I have the right, as a human being, to support the president of my choice. I have the right to support Josh Weah. I have the right to make the case for Josh Weah, and I have the right to sell him to the Liberian people. Am I worried now about 2023? It's not about 2023 because I know we're going to win. It is beyond after Josh Weah. Who do we have? That's my worry now. So it is something that all of the comments that the listener made. It is their comments, and I have nothing to say. I'm going to rebut them or support them. The fact that they made those comments, I think definitely we are having these discussions to better our country, to find the best person to lead us, and Josh Weah is the best person. And so, gentlemen, thank you very much. I really appreciate your comments.
All right, and Mr. Gaye, before I bring you into those following us, we want to get feedback from you. You're listening to these two gentlemen make the case for their individual candidate. So please give them some feedback here. In your opinion, who made a better case for their candidate, Doe or Gaye? Please write in the comment section and just say Gaye, make up whatever way you want to write it. Just put Gaye or Doe. Just let us know so that we can get a semblance of how they were able to perform. Mr. Gaye, you listen to the callers, those for whom we actually hear, nobody listening to us will walk away. They just contributed to the conversation. What you make of their contribution?
I think that those comments were very salient comment. I think that first of all, I want to say thank you to those people in Liberia and who are up this time of the night and contributing and watching. And those of us in the US as well, you came from your busy schedule and you took the time. There are thousands and thousands stuff on Facebook, but you took your time to stick with us. We want to say thank you. We want to also say thank you for even participating, typing, and other different things. But here's what I want to say. I want to say, as a supporter of Mr. Cummings and a member of the ANC and chapter chairman of the Delaware Valley, I'm happy that my political leader is, improving and growing politically every day. For me, I personally have told him, that his answer on the war crime code was too long. You need to. I even inbox. I had the inbox that on the war crime code, you got to make it short. I'll let you for it or not. And then if you explain, you explain. But to go and go and go, it was tiring to people. So I'm glad that he took a stand and said, I'm for it. Cut off. That's what we need to do. Unlike on the other side, they don't take responsibility. I don't think my political leader is perfect, has everything. That's why he needs people around him. And I thought that was a cloud, like he did with the, a gay issue on Spoon Talk, and nip it in the butt, and that was done. Look, in politics, sometimes you have to take a tough stand, whether it's popular or not. That's what makes you a politician, So I'm grateful that my party is evolving. People are now getting intimidated by the presence of Mr. Cummings. Before they say, oh, that just can't. It's not just can't now. They're looking for small things now, librarians in our librarian balance to put into the corner. They can't find anything. So now he's stuck with his corporate. Who is better fit to lead Liberia? Currently, economic circumstances of Liberia than Mr. Cummings. A person who billions of dollars without scandal. Who is better fit if it's not Mr. Cummings?
Thank you. And gentlemen, at this time, I will ask you to make your closing case for your candidate. Comes 2023, and after you make your case, I will give you a sense of what the folks are following us here saying as to who did a better job in making a case for their candidate. So I will start with you, Mr. Gaye. What is your closing case for your candidate? And please don't make it long. 1 minute, please.
My closing case is that the more you listen to Mr. Cummings' presentation, the closer you get to him. He's the best campaigner in chief of himself. Better than anyone else that can come on show and speak of it. Whenever you speak to Mr. Cummings one-on-one or in an interview, he presents the matter better. And I think he needs to do more. And he should continue doing what he's doing and show himself to the Liberian people. Each time he does that, he gets more and more people. We saw that on Spoon Talk. People were like, what? I never knew this guy was like this. Oh, I never knew this guy was like this. But today, I have made up my mind. We saw that on Truth FM. I never knew this guy was like this. Mr. Cummings, do more of this kind of presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Ato Yado, your closing case for your candidate, President Weah. Maybe an advice.
Thank you so much. My President George Weah. If you are watching, or anybody who is watching this show and is closer to George Weah, I urge him to continue to do what he's doing and let him do the best in the interest of the Liberian people. There will be distractions. I want for the president not to be distracted by people who selling candidates in the bags. People who think that Liberia is a place where we use to profit. No, Liberia is not a place. So I urge my sympathizers as well as citizens, those supporters of CDC or Joshua of the PAPD, please stay focused. And I will call on my president once more. If there is anything that is happening in the country that create national, international concern, please step up to the podium and make a point, make it clear as the president and leader of the country. I thank you, Mr. CA.
Thank you. And there is a viewer here who is giving me some kudos. Anthony see a great job. Your panel try. However, I think Anthony Gaye was stronger. So let me read some comments giving you feedback here. This one is from Vasco Sumo. He said, "Do," and this is from Ibrahim Bengu. He said, "Gaye." And then this is Franklin Komoya. He said, "Anthony Gaye." This is from Sifa said Gaye. This is from Jacob Daniel. Gaye did great. This is from Franklin. Oh, what happened again? Let me go by. Uh-oh. Yeah, so I read in the comments here. What happened? I have them all in line here. Okay, this one is from Peter, or I think Quimmy. He said about this person said, yeah, Peter said do. And this is from Kevin. He said Gaye. So yeah, these are just few comments, and gentlemen, again, I cannot begin to thank you enough. I reached out to you at the 11th hour, and the both of you accepted to come and make the case for the candidates you believe will be able to represent our country as president. We here at Focus on Liberia want to say thank you so very much for coming to our call and making the case for your candidates for the 2023 general and presidential election. At this time, folks, we want to say thank you for making the case. This is what I have to say. The search for a better president for Liberia is very cardinal. Those who are in the CDC today are telling us President Weah is doing well. How well is he doing? We don't know. But the thing, he's doing well. But what we also see is that some people in the very CDC are leaving. In the very opposition, they think they got the best. But we see them like fighting each other. What I'm saying is we need to keep searching. We need to keep searching until we find that person. And because we don't know who that person is going to be, we're going to talk to everybody. If we can't get to them, we'll get to their surrogates so that we can give Liberia a president that Liberia deserves. Until we get that president, we will continue to have the conversation here. I focus on Liberia in educating, elevating, and promoting all things Liberia. On that note, folks, the song that says we are all Liberians is taking us home. Gentlemen, congratulations on making the case for your individual candidates. And I'm sure Liberia is proud of you for making your contribution. Sometimes people say, the people in America, all they're doing just talking. What you want us to do? What you want us to do? You don't even want us to run. You brought this kind of, dual citizenship bill that will deny me of running for anything in my hometown, Sastan. And you say, I'll talk my own.
Right.
Again, folks, thank you, fellow Liberians. Let's keep talking. Let's keep searching for a leader that will help our country. Bye-bye, folks.
Thank you, Gaye.
Yeah.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home.